just ain't the same anymore. They don't know what they're doing no more. Yeah, you gotta have your first outline. Once your first outline is done, then your filling, that takes away your first outline. You don't need your first no more because now you got your filling.
Wake up, thought process, burning lights. Stay focused, skill set, burning mics. Dreamscape, Pantone, Warlock. Half-tone technique, homegrown dead stock. Look at the characters, set it out. Gumby, post no bills. He's an aerosol junkie. Color flow magician really comes down to
When I hear rappers, ain't no kind of fear factor, cause I smear half of them across the walls and the rafters. Afterwards, get rid of them in one swoop. Run up on they coops, bucking at they front tooth. The loose cannon that'll bang bang the magnum at the has-beens, fucking up they family like the Jacksons. For reconstructive surgery, verbally murking 20 or 30 yes men easily, but secretly acting like they wanted a piece of me. Frequently I take their frequencies, ride them and divide them and slide them from top to bottom. I got them putting L's in their winning columns.
Security breach.
Chest speeder, Harry Beck, Simeon, Dragon Knuckles, who need some Similac? Overreactive. Reach into the sky, pull the universe closer. Words become weapons, too hard to holster. Their bodies walk desolate, they so latex bondage. Insert dope line here. Feel the energy like Tesla. Dig my hands in the dirt when it rains, it's a mess. But I'm semi-hydrophobic. This blue marble floating diagnosis.
We can do a little shopping,
Take you out of town.
we can do a little shopping,
Buy you clothes you never had.
we can do it. We can do a little shopping,
Get the Birkin bag.
we can do it. We can do it. We can do it.
Boss, bossy hog. I'm hush puppy when I do my shopping at the mall. Dubai, Emirate. Come on.
Distilled 100 proof, wander dystopian future. Watching kittens getting neutered, they're trying to be lions, but they're lying. Survive that aftermath, piranhas in a shallow bath. Laugh at the simple trick of that was fucking garbage. Yo. Living life stuck in a small room, mutant trying to make space. Space stays infinite, flow through as a miscreant. Serendipity creeps through the fantasy. Matrix blasphemy, that atrophy. Warning's been blasted. Master the 8-bit, asking violently for 6 feet gets a little too close to home. In this reality, establishment makes a come up, selling fake doors to the populace. I stay carnivorous, interdimensional cable, play back the future, keep my mental CCTV on 24/7. Kill the fake, find the truth, repost the brethren. Hell or heaven, looking for higher form, pure light making graffiti.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Universal Dialect Show. I'm your host, Chris Cypher73 Cabrera, and I have another guest. First and foremost, it's my first show in the new year, so I want to wish everybody Happy New Year. I know we're like halfway through the month already, but I haven't seen y'all in a long time, so probably 3 weeks. Not a long time, but anyway, this individual that I'm bringing on is a return guest. You know, I love my return guests. Made his first appearance in show number 3. Check it out. Dope show. He's an artist of many mediums. He's a rapper, producer, graph artist, fashion designer, etc., and overall an awesome human being, and has the stilo of a cyborg. I can't hear you. I told you we were gonna laugh. I told you we were gonna laugh, man. He's not even gonna last a long time. Like, anyway, he's Junkadelic Music's own and my brother. Welcome back, Lord Night. Nah, I'm only kidding. KIEW NIKON. What's up, my dude?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
That's a dope mask, man.
Thank you. Oh, you know what's dope though? I was really trying to get the next one. So my homeboy is making me an update, a new one, and it's gonna be super dope. And he's
What else?
and what's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go. What was your question? What was your
What
question?
else can that mask do?
Oh, so this one, I mean, like this one, like it can pop like smoke out and shit. But the new one is it's gonna be an update for 2024. It's almost like it's a because this is a mask from some like another character, but that I've done little modifications to it. But the new one is another character, but I'm taking it to the next level. I even wrote a character about it. But it's basically it's like a imagine a black on black gunmetal with black matte finish Iron Man mask where the bottom jaw comes off and you can still see the bottom of my jaw just like this. So if I was like performing, you can still see me performing, but you can't see everything. So, and it's gonna be dope. And he was like, he decided, oh, that looks really dope. Then let's just make you a whole suit. So he's making me a whole suit. So that's gonna be really sick. It's gonna be
Who is
dope.
this dude? Do you want to shout him out?
Uh, no, I mean like he's kind of on the. It's funny. He's really on the DL, but I can tell you this:
Uh,
when you're walking around in Disneyland, if you ever see a Darth Vader dude walking around who's hella tall, who actually looks like Darth Vader, that might just be him because he is actually he's like certified to make movie accurate, exact one-to-one of like all the shit. He did it for Halloween this year for his family. Like I think his wife was Sabine Wren. His son was Boba Fett. His little baby son was like a baby Darth Vader, and he was Darth Vader. Like he's hella tall, just like Darth Vader, and like had the voice modulator and everything. It was fucking dope.
that's
It was like
that sounds dope.
I was like, God damn, I want a new mask. And he was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, wait, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, I kind of want an Iron Man mask, but my own, like, because I have this character that like all the bullshit that happens in the world, like cops getting away with fucking people up and politicians getting away with doing shit and CEOs getting away with stealing money and like poisoning people across the planet. And like, you know what I mean? Like they'll have like a company they'll set up somewhere, they'll poison a whole neighborhood and shit, a whole group of people, and then they'll be like, I don't know what happened. I just don't know what went down. So like I had this idea of what if there was this character in the MCU that like throughout all the shit that's been going on through the MCU and the comic books has been like who's like a fan of the shit, has been cobbling together Iron Man pieces and other pieces of shit and decided to make his own suit. So it's kind of like an Iron Man suit, but it's a little more streak. And he goes after the cops that be killing people and getting away with it. He goes after the politicians who be fucking people up. He goes after you know what I mean? I think that'd be a dope comic book because like it'd be like a TVMA, it'd be like a mature comic book talking about some real shit, but you know what I mean? But the person's still vulnerable. So I just like, let me just make a new mask that kind of represents that because that's kind of how my music feels nowadays.
Word, and we're gonna get into your music. All right, so you can lose the mask. So I can see the grill.
Yes. Ugh.
So my man, one thing that I've noticed and other people I'm pretty sure noticed that you look a little different. Let's talk about
Yeah.
why you look different.
Let's call out the elephant in
In
the
the
room.
room.
It's because I don't have locks anymore. Cut my hair. Yeah.
And what was the reason behind that? Because I know people that's a part of who they are. Once they get those locks in, it's been with them for years. Even if their hair falls out, they still try to keep those locks. Yeah, but you chose to get rid of them, which I'm pretty sure probably wasn't an easy thing to do. But what was the reason?
So
Don't start crying because I'm gonna cry too. I'm gonna cry too if you cry.
It was funny. It was I've been talking about it for like I want to say like I think a year and a half. I think a year and a half. I was just like telling people like, yeah, I think I'm gonna cut my hair. And they were like, oh no. They're like, no, don't cut your hair. And I'm like, why not? like, oh, that's you. That's who you are. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, no, it's not. That's just like, so that's something that I've done to represent who I am for a long time. And and for me, it has a deep connection because like for me, my locks were like connection to like my knowledge and like what they almost like it's hard to explain.
I could tell you what you're trying to say. That they've experienced the same things you've experienced.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's what it is. And so people would be like, and like it's like looking at a picture, right? Like when you look at a picture of yourself when you're 16 years old, that was you. That's not you now. That was you. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. So it's like I remember I was sitting there and I kept talking about it. And then it was a Saturday morning. I was sitting in the studio drinking coffee. And I looked over and I said, yeah, it's time. And I went, grabbed right here and grabbed some scissors and just reached down and felt where I needed to and just went snip like one, put it down, and just kept on going. Took about like 45 minutes. It was kind of wild. But 45 minutes. I actually, at one point, I actually got bored.
You were gonna stop?
No, I did. I got mad and then I was like, fuck, I can't actually stop because I'm already too deep in.
Yeah, once you're deep in, man, that's it, man. You gotta go
keep going.
out.
I got to keep going. So it was garbage. But
hey, dude, okay. Do you have to blur the background?
I can unblur it.
Yeah, just unblur it. Let everybody see where the madness happens. The little bottle of champagne.
My empty ass fucking shit. My shit is empty right now. You know why it's empty?
No, I mean I don't even remember it being. It was full at one time. I think you showed me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any. Okay, so I don't have any art on the wall yet and shit. Like it's like fucking. Look at that, man. It's like a dungeon in here right now. But I got art right here, and I got a bookshelf over here with a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I moved the whole room around because we had to. Right. I ripped the carpet out. So
I got you.
Yeah, it's tight.
I got you.
Look at that. Look at my hair, man.
It looks dope, man. It looks dope. It looks au natural.
I know. I haven't been like this. Like, what is it? They're like 40 something, 40 something years, 40 years. Yeah, like 35, 33, 35 years, man. I haven't locks, and it's weird not having them.
Are you done with locks completely?
No, I'm gonna do them again. I'm probably gonna. I mean, maybe. I keep saying I'm gonna do them again, but there's no guarantee.
I got you, brother. So for those who may not have catched episode 3 and don't know who you are, just give me like a sort of brief intro, and then we're just gonna karate chop, kung fu, Chuck Norris into the album that you're about to drop.
Okay. Shit. All right. So, KIEW NIKON, last album I put out was actually, you know, funny. Last album I put out was with the Kinetic MCs. The last time we talked, I think I was working on. I was actually working on this album now called Amazing. I don't even think it had a name yet, but I was working on Amazing. I think I was 3 songs deep, feeling really insecure about it, like a little bitch. And but from then on, just been working on that shit. And I think this whole time I've been working on that. Actually, and then what's funny is for me, it's hard to just work on one album. So as an artist, I do like a lot of multimedia work and music for movies and TV and shit. So I end up getting inspired by what I'm working on at the same time. So I'm working on a Star Wars short right now. And yeah, it's been a lot of different projects just kind of like coalescing all together, which is really tight, which makes me feel really good because I feel like I'm hitting this moment where I get to do what I really want to do. So having this album be done feels really good. It feels really good. And I've been getting some good feedback too, because it's hard to listen to your own shit when you're like this close to it. You're this close to it. You smell it and taste it. You wake up in the morning, it's in your fucking face. You breathing it in and shit. Like it's so in your face. So like when you do finally get to like have it done and step away and go, fuck, I'm done. It feels good. So coming back to it now after being done, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Artists are their own worst critics. They're always going to be their own worst critics. So
That's true. That's true.
it's natural.
You mind if I get a Jaritos real quick?
Do what you got to do. You still haven't sent me my Jaritos, man.
I know. I'm looking at the box. I'm actually looking at the box right here. I'm looking at the box right here.
Does it still have Jaritos in them? Did you take?
Yes, it does. No, yes, it does. 'Cause I've got my own. And I'm trying to like figure out which one. All right, I know which one I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have Mexican cola.
Oh shit, that sounds awesome.
Mexican cola.
Oh, that's fire, man. Man, you West Coast dudes get all the ill shit. All right, dude. So you answered partially. That's I know. I'm smelling.
No, ask the question. No, ask the question anyways. Ask the question anyways. And just so you know, I have a really super high sensitive sense of smell, and I love to smell my drinks and my food and shit because I can just smell what they're made of. It's like it's really, oh man, I can't. It's hard to explain.
You explained that I think in the last episode that you see colors when through sound when you interpret sound through colors and also smells. Like your senses are just heightened.
Yeah, they're kind of weird. Like I can hear and feel certain things, or I'll look at something and I can see the sounds popping off of it, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? And it's not always the same thing. It's not like that comic booky weird shit. Like sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at. I think I'm tripping. And then I'll figure it out like hours later, like, oh, that's what I was looking at, because something else will be similar. So, you know, it's fun and it's interesting and makes you feel like you're insane sometimes because everybody thinks you're weird.
Yeah. Misfit Toys. I feel like I've always been part of the Misfit Toys crew. So, you know. Anyway, so let's jump into it, bro. So before we get into any like album specifics, right? You said that like you were doing stuff with Kinetic MCs, and you were also kind of playing around with what would be this album called Amazing. But what's the time frame from this album to your last solo album?
Ooh. Wow. My last solo album was shit, it's been a long time. 2012. I think 2012, 2011, 2012, my last solo album. That's a long ass time. That's a oh my God, that's 12 years.
Yeah.
That's 12 years. 12 years of between having a solo album. And it's funny because it's not really my I've made, and this is such a bad thing to say, man, but I've made like 2 albums in between that solo. So like, okay, so check this out. What's funny is, and I haven't sent this to you, maybe I did. Excuse me. I don't think I sent to you the newest one, but I have an album called You Still Don't Call Me, the sequel to You Don't Call Me No More.
Yep.
And I was recording that at the same time while I was doing Kinetic, and I was doing Amazing because I got like 2 songs from Amazing, recorded those, and the first one was the one with Kool Keith, and the second one was some other song that I did. I was supposed to do a song with Del, and Kool Keith, but that fell through on some other shit. I don't even, whatever, it's the politics or whatever, but it was like just shit was happening, and so I only had enough time to do one thing at a time. So I was doing like I literally did the Kinetic MCs album. Then You Still Don't Call Me, and it did the 2 songs that I did, and then Amazing started flooding in, the beat started coming in, and I had to like really focus up the thing, and it was funny. So yeah, like technically I have a solo album that I worked on that's before Amazing, but if you hear it when you hear it, it won't sound like that. It'll sound like you can hear the same progression that's in Amazing. It's funny. It's funny because I think you and I were talking about it the last time. We were talking about how like lyrically, MCs have to change and have to grow and evolve. And as a musician, as an artist, like I've had to change the way that I write because like I used to write really wordy, like a lot of words, a lot of words, a lot of introspective shit, a lot of deep stuff. And our generation can take that, but the newer generation can't necessarily handle that. Like I watch my woman's son, and he's fucking he's on his phone. He's cooking with one hand and on his phone with the other. So like, you know what I mean? You got to make it where it can get him for and right away, but still tell that story. And actually I found the perfect analogy. I was talking to my homie about it, and I said, you know what? It's like writing a comic book. A comic book only has like this much space to give you so much information, and they have the luxury of visuals on top of text, where with MCs you have to like be able to do it with just words, and they can't even read it. They're hearing it. So what I've been trying to do, forward movement, is in my like I'm trying to make these new videos and stuff now to have the words and things involved and like visuals involved, because that's how I see my songs. All my songs, if you listen to my songs and you close your eyes and listen to what I'm saying, you'll see everything I'm saying. You'll see it, and it'll start to merge together, and it'll all make sense. So like if I could get my videos to ever be like that, oh my God, next level. So I've been working on this new program trying to do a lot of that shit now, you know.
So
Sorry.
you're gonna release? No, you're good. You're gonna release those videos on your own, or you're gonna get help from somebody to help you?
I mean, I'm not. I'm very impatient, and so like I have a tendency to like just put stuff out and not always time it right. And so like I've been really trying to be methodical about timing this stuff, but then sometimes and then not try to be a perfectionist, you know what I mean? Because being a perfectionist has been fucking me up. Like I'll try too hard to make it so perfect, and it's not. I can't do it. That's impossible. Like today, when I was working on that pseudo cover for you, I was messing with it, and then I started realizing I don't have to do that much work, and I started finding the shortcuts and just doing my shortcuts and making it work, and it started working out by it. And I was feeling all good, and then then at some point I felt my start code starting to get all granular, and I'm like, what am I doing? Stop, stop it. So I had to walk away. That's when I went to go cook, and I was like, I'm gonna go make some food because I'm tripping.
Right. Well, that's again with artists, we never think something's complete or something's good enough. We overthink things, and we want to add too much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of just keeping it simple, or just saying, you know what, I think it's dope, I'm done. And if nobody else likes it, then fuck it. But it's done. I don't want to spend so much time, because I'm not working on something else that I could be, because I'm focusing too much on this.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So you did your stuff with other artists. You're making tracks for Amazing, for You Still Don't Call Me No More. You know what I mean? So, and what else are you working on? Because that's a long gap of just not creating. And then the reason why you
haven't done it. It's been a long time since you've done some shit. You need to step your fucking game up, bro. Like, god damn.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, knowing you don't stop creating. So what else were you doing in the meantime? Because I know that you dropped those 2 albums with Kinetic, and then y'all decided to part ways for whatever reason. Okay. And then so I would imagine, you're working on Amazing during that time, but I mean, in our conversations, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
So during that time, I was wrapped up in a contract with a couple of film companies. One of them called Second Team Productions. I can't remember the name of the second one, but I produced. They did a sitcom that was on Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Netflix. It was called One Strange Happy. And I'm going to tell you something. I've never made music for a sitcom before. That is the hardest shit to ever, because it's nonsense music. It's not even music. Like I had to go watch sitcoms to like understand what the fuck I was trying to do. Like I knew what I wanted to do, but I was like, wasn't sure if that was the right thing to do, like in the sense of what I'm watching. So like Like so like look, imagine watching a sitcom and there's not a single real sound effect on it or anything.
Right. Well, that's the reason
it's
why
just
they do
dry.
that.
Yeah, it's just
The
dry.
only sounds that are important in a sitcom is the opening music and the closing credit music. All the other sounds that are in there, whatever their music or sound effect, is just to keep the flow going.
And it was like, and it was
Which
hard to try
sounds
and catch
easy,
that.
but it's not easy to do.
Not even close. I was sitting there like, look, I was doing some research, right? So I'm trying to remember what sitcoms I watched. Like, I don't know. I would just throw on sitcoms and I was messing with all types of different eras because I was like, okay. So I watched the show first all the way through, all 12 episodes of the first season. And I just watched them with no music, just to kind of get the feel of what the show was about. And I'm like, okay. And the show was about this dude, this black dude and this white girl who lived together as roommates, and you would think they're gonna be together, but they're not, and they're more like brother and sister. And so it's like, and so like if you catch the name of One Strange Happy, it's like, one, and so like it's like One Happy Family. And so like his mom, but then his dad divorces his mom and starts dating her mom, and it just gets crazy. But then her sister comes over and tries to get at him, and then her brother, their brother is just fucking weird and crazy. It's a weird ass funny show, but it was just trying to make the music for it. I'm like, what is this show? What is the overall theme? And it was like, okay, it's about family, but it's not. It's broken. So what I did is I was like, okay, you know what I did? I know what I need to do. I need to make the music broken. I need to make the music for the show broken. Because but here's what's funny. When I would go to watch sitcoms to get like reference, I would be watching a sitcom and then I would forget to listen to the music because it was done so well. And I was like, fuck, wait a second, where did the music disappear? Let me run it back 30, 60, a minute, 30 seconds. Like, let me see what happened. And I'm like, okay, that's where the music's disappearing. But why? And I'm like, why did they? Okay. And so then I literally learned on the fly how to make music for a sitcom while making the music for the whole show. I even made the intro music for the show. And, and it's like I listen to it now and it's so goofy. The music is so stupid. I wish I had my MPC live when I made that beat because it's so horrible. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so boo-boo. But it worked. And it ended up getting me to do two movies. One called The Jag, and it was about this guy who got these powers from something. I don't even remember what it was. And then this other one about time. And that one was really fun because the music I made with metronomes. So like the music, I'll find out, I gotta remember what the name of the show is about, and I'll tell you what it is, the movie. I'll tell you what it is later. But what was really cool about it is if you listen to the music, it's all on time to the speed of what's happening in each scene. And so the actual beats, you're actually hearing them. Right. And it's so I just kind of hid little stuff in there.
Right,
you know what I mean? So like I would add the metronome, make the music, but then I would remove everything else and just leave these sounds in there. And they would kind of tell you what was going to happen before it happens. And then working on the video game shit. I've been working on music for this video game company called Rival Dust. And that's fun because I'm their audio, basically their audio senior. So every single sound for every world that they create, I'm actually creating it, which is a lot of fun, actually. They'll give me, I remember they were like, okay, we're making this one game. I'm not going to get too much into it because I got an NDA signed, but we're making this one game, and imagine there is a crystal, the world is made of ice, and it's ice and snowy. So then I just basically was using the sound of snow in a tundra, and then so you're hearing that air flowing across the ground, and then I had these sounds of like ice. I went and looked up the sound of ice forming, and went and looked up the sound, what it sounds like, and I found it, and it sounds crazy. So then I used that, and so I started using the sounds of ice forming to kind of create these movements.
The ambiance.
Yeah. And what's funny is I'm trying to do something new that's not done with video games before. So I'm making what's called modular music. So like if you go into a game, so let's just imagine a room. Let's take a level and turn that level into it's a whole it's a box. But inside that box is a smaller box. Now, when you first start walk into that room, into that level, you're walking into that smaller box. That smaller box has its own sound dynamics that are happening. But then as you step out of that box, those sound dynamics start to integrate into what's happening into the bigger box that's outside of it. However, what I can do is I can make it where every single time you play that level, that music will remix. All the sounds will remix. The only things that'll stay the same is like walking on the ground, the sound of the wind, the sound of certain things, the sound of nature. But other than that, the music will always be modular. So you and someone else will never have the same experience musically. And actually, technically, you're just being a DJ. You're always being a DJ with the music.
You're your own DJ.
Yeah, and you don't even know it.
Dope. So during that time, like as you're saying, you're taking on other projects, you're expanding like your knowledge base as an artist. And then when does Junkadelic come into the picture?
They basically hit me up. It was right after, what's funny? I've noticed that as an artist, every time I get done with one, how people have how they say how people have these points in their lives when they do music or as an art or their lives, they go up in this thing and they hit this plateau and then they come down. I think I'm very fortunate because I've had the ability to do it over and over and over and over and over again. So they caught me on one of those ones where I'm about to drop back down and they're like, nope, we got you. And I'm like, oh, really? Right. And they basically hit me up randomly because I think they caught the kinetic stuff. And they were like, hey, what have you been up to? And I was like, nothing. What's been going on? They were like, no, nothing. We just wanted to see if you wanted to link back up again. And I was like, fuck yeah. The only reason I didn't hit you up is because I didn't think you wanted to work with me right now. And I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know why I'm like, it's not that I don't think I'm good enough. It's just I don't like bothering people because I get too excited. I don't know. Did we talk about my bad. Let me turn my shit off.
No, you're good.
Did we talk about how actually no, hold on. So I went out to have drinks with a friend of mine, very incredible photographer. He owns a brewery, and we were sitting out and we were having drinks at a bar, and we were talking. He's really smart, and we were just going back and forth, and we started talking about comic books, and I started talking to him about this one character, and he looks at me and he goes, are you ever in a situation where people stop working with you? And I just kind of looked at him and I'm like, the fuck does that mean? But then I instead of reacting all upset about it, I just kind of thought about it and I was like, yeah, well, actually more often than not. And he goes, I know why. And I was like, why? He goes, don't take this the wrong way, but you scare people because you are smart. And I was like, what? And think about that. When somebody tells you something like that, right? Your first instinct is to go, yeah, I know I'm smart. But that wasn't my first instinct. It was like, what do you want from me? You know what I mean? Like, why are you, like, what do you want from me? Why what the, like, what's up, dude? What do you want
What's
from
the
me?
catch?
What's the catch? Exactly, right? No, but he goes, and he doesn't need anything from me. This fool lives the life that I wish I was living sometimes. And he goes, think about it, man. He goes, you and I just had a dissertation about about Deadpool. It was about Deadpool. He goes, we just had a dissertation about Deadpool. He goes, you remember pieces of information that most people don't even think about, but then you put them together in ways that make sense. He goes, you have to remember that you can scare people if you take the oxygen out of the room being as smart as you are. And I was just like, fuck. And okay, how many groups have you been in? And I said, I think three. And he goes, I think maybe three, four. And he goes, how many of them continue working with you? And I was like, none of them. And he goes, are you or do you get really passionate about what's going on? And I was all, yeah. He goes, does everyone else kind of seem like they're dragging their feet? I'm all, yeah. He goes, okay, that's what it is. He goes, see, you're already he goes, you're thinking ahead where they're still thinking at the moment. And he goes, you got to slow down sometimes. And he goes, but, or you can step away and stand out on your own.
I agree.
And he goes, are you afraid to stand out on your own? And I was like, honestly? He goes, yeah. I was like, yeah. He goes, why? And I was like, just because I don't think anybody gives a fuck about what I have to say. I really don't. That's the honest truth. And he goes, if they didn't, you wouldn't be in as many groups as you were in.
Not only that, Q, if you think about it, you're in a group with other people. It's easier, like, to feel like shit with other people that are trying to do the same thing you're doing. And you all could bounce and share that moment of like, all right, we did something, nobody's fucking paying attention, than you being by yourself and having nobody pay attention to you on your own. And just, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, that's true. But you know what it was for me, you know what it was more is that I could hide. I started really thinking about it is that I could hide. I could experiment and have fun. Because when I did my solo stuff, I felt like I was under this pressure that I had to be a certain way. I had to write this certain way. I had to make sure I did these things a certain way because this is KIEW NIKON. So, but when I was in a group, I felt free. I was like, okay, now I can just I can experiment and I can fuck around and I can just not give a fuck because I can hide behind all these other people who were dope. You know, I don't have to be so dope. But what would happen is the experimentation is what ended up being the thing that made it even better. And I didn't realize it until after I left the groups. When I was in the group Planet Earth, with Sulfur. He is a ridiculously dope MC. When I first moved to Portland, Oregon, I met so many MCs within the first week of being here. From Old Dominion to I'm talking about I met Dom, NyQuil, Sindel, everybody from Old Dominion was just moving from Seattle. I met Rocket One from Northwest Order. I met Maiji. I met all these fucking fools. And like within the first week. And then I met this one crew called Children of the Thorn. And they had this guy named Sulfur that they all like rallied behind. He was like the guy. Light skin, green eyes, fucking looks like a goddamn terrorist, ready to fucking this is a fucking dope ass MC. I'm like, this fool looks like he's ready to go. And this is how they introduced me. They were like, okay, they were like, oh, well, you got to battle us. And then I just crushed them all, just like, bad, just destroyed them. And they were like, oh, well, if you're going to hang with us, you got to battle Sulfur. And I was like, Sulfur? His name's already giving me fucking shit to fuck with right now. That's all bad. His name is all bad already. Yeah. I'm going to mangle this kid.
Look, dude, you either have that name because you have that name because you're really dope and you know that you're gonna get attacked and you just want to demolish somebody that's gonna make fun of you.
You know what that reminds me of? What was I watching? It was I think it was Rick and Morty, and it was another show too. They both said it. He's like, oh, what's his name's Tiny? He goes, no, it's ironic. You don't call yourself that unless you have the power to back it up. I was like, that's true. That's true. You know what I mean? So like, it was just funny. So I was like, I remember they took me to this apartment. We went to this apartment in Portland, right by the Lloyd Center, which is pretty much the central mall for Portland. And then we go downstairs into this apartment. It's fucking sarongs hung up on the fucking windows and shit. Smells like fucking Nog Champa everywhere. It's fucking smoky. This motherfucker's sitting in a chair and he turns around looking like Lando Calrissian. I'm talking about like I'm already coming up with all the wrong things to say to this fool. I'm like, ooh, I've got so much ammunition. I'm going to destroy you. I sit down in a chair and there's like, I'm talking about like, you don't understand the crew of guys. There's like 12 of them. They're all sitting over in the side of the corner in the apartment, like, oh, what's going to happen? Oh. So I sit down and I just look at him. He looks at me and we look at each other and he goes, I'm reliving this shit because it's fucking funny to me. He looks at me and he goes, huh, what's up, man? And I was like, what's up? I was like, I guess I'm supposed to battle you because you're the top dog. And then I started cracking up and he starts laughing too. He goes, I guess. And I said, okay, check it out. You want to go first? He's all, okay. And he just says like some little shit, like just to be funny. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I played off what he said and say some shit back. He looks at me, he goes, okay, we're cool. We knuckle bump and everybody's like, oh, that's it. And we were just like, whatever, right? But I think it was game recognized game because later on down the years, this fool, he's a super dope ass MC. Like I have Planet Earth. It's completed. It's just never been put out. Okay, that's a lie. 2 songs came out. One of them came out and was sponsored by Microsoft. That shit was so dope. I was like, what? And that was like the most experimental shit. Like I got to have fun. I got to be free, but it was me and this other fool who were like super technical, but we were like saying, fuck it. He was being so ghetto. It was hilarious. Like on one song, he said, eat shit again, then eat shit on one of his verses. And it was so funny. I was like, nah, you can't say shit that many times. So on the third shit, I added in the dolphin sound from SpongeBob.
The one that you use now.
The one that I use now. That's the one that I use now. I added that one in. That's the one. That was the one.
Yeah,
that was the one.
I know.
That's the same one. So that's
because the funny thing is that I have that Planet Earth song. I have the album actually.
Lies. Yeah, I knew you did. Lies.
With the artwork.
Let's uncover the lies for the truth they may not see. Humans fighting nature. They use technology. Yeah, I remember that shit. That that album was funny because it was super fun. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, man. I miss Sulfur. Me and we had a falling out. I'm not gonna get into why because that's slander. You know what I mean? He has to have his side. I know what happened. He's gonna say he knows what happened. And you know what? There's 3 sides to every story. His, and the truth. So ultimately, you know what I mean? I miss that dude, and I would love to do another album with him because I think that now us being older, being more grown, and being in more control of what's going on, I think we can really make something super fresh because we were on the edge. I'm talking about like a company from LA was hitting us up about songs and shit and wanted to put us on fucking movies and stuff. And I was just like, we were like on the edge of it. I was like, oh shit, I could feel it. I was having dreams. Like I was having dreams about songs, waking up in the middle of the night, writing the lyrics, running over to the motif, making a couple of beats, saving them, falling back to sleep, and waking up and thinking that I dreamt it and looking up and finding them. We were on the edge of something incredible. I could feel it.
Why not reach back out to him? Is he?
He doesn't like me.
I got you. It happens, brother. It happens.
It happens. I'm not honestly. Okay, we got me and him into a situation to see each other once. The homie like snuck us into a situation where we had to see each other, and it was uncomfortable for me just as much as it was for him. I was just like, all right, man, this is not cool. But if I could talk to him again, I'd be like, look, I love you, and let's make some shit. Because honestly, what the fuck we doing, man? Let's leave something. Let's leave something to the universe. Let's leave something out there that can actually make some change. Because I look at me and him and we were doing Run the Jewels before Run the Jewels, honestly.
Oh, I have that album, dude.
You know what I mean? We were doing Run the Jewels before Run the Jewels. I remember the shows we were doing, the choruses we were creating, the shit we were talking about. It was literally everything was relevant, and it felt like it was crazy. And like I've been trying to, and for me, I've been trying to recapture that because that's what I like. And so I think and for me, I feel like I'm right there. I feel like I'm recapturing that, and I'm getting close to jumping back again ahead and pulling in what's about to happen. So I can feel it. I can feel it.
So back to Junkadelic, my brother. Did you sign a record deal with them, or is this some sort of deal where it's like a project by project basis?
This is an interesting deal. And I think it's probably the most. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it. I'll just say this. I'll say this because I got to be diplomatic about how I explain this. Because you know what I mean? We are good with each other, that they respect my craft to recoup on, if that makes sense. And then they respect me enough to not like hassle me about making stuff because they know I will. So we came to the agreement of let's work together and make something dope. And that's pretty much it. And that's and let's all make money. So like, and for me, I think that's awesome. I don't have any problem with that. Like I make more money with them than artists make with Spotify.
Right, because Spotify's just out to rape.
You know what I mean? They do. No, they do. And I haven't even done shows. And like honestly, I want to get back into doing shows again. I want to do shows again. It's just I need to make more money to be able to continue to and do that. That's why I'm focusing on like doing motion graphics and stuff now. Like I've been working on motion graphics. Like I taught myself how to do that shit now. I've been on my Instagram, I just posted like the new logo, just like slamming down on itself, creating all this shit. Like I've been teaching myself that since the pandemic. And so I'm gotten pretty proficient at it. So I'm trying to use that as like a new avenue to continue to create revenue. But Junkadelic allowing me to still create music and on top of that do that. Oh, that's next level, man. That just inspires me to do more. Because I think that if I didn't have them, I would still do shit, but I don't think I would be as active. You know, they're making me look at my shit and take it more serious and take it seriously again. Where a lot of artists would probably just give up, you know. Which I've seen. I've seen a lot of artists give up. They do. They give up. They just go, fuck it. Nobody cares about me. You know, they do. And okay, look, hold on. Let me pull back. I'm not gonna say that artists as a whole do the whole woe is me shit, but I've seen it. I've seen some of your favorite artists pull that woe is me shit. And you're just like looking at them like, what are you fucking talking about? You're a goddamn legend. Why are you acting like people owe you some shit? They already love you. All you got to do is spit on the ground and all they want to do is scoop it up. You're just not trying. You're not really trying. And not only that, and if you are trying, you're doing it in a pretentious way. So, you know, nobody wants to give you credit if you're the smart person in the room and you're being a dick about it.
Correct. So Junkadelic, where did they come from? Who are they?
They're in so they are in London. So there's two of them. There is Junkadelic, and then there's Junkers Lou. So Junkadelic is the overall CEO. He's a really cool ass fucking dude. I love talking to him and shit. He got kids. He's just like us, lives his regular life. You know, he's so fresh. He was talking to me how his kids play soccer and how hard it is to get into the soccer league in France and shit because of how competitive it is. We were talking about how, and we were kind of like talking about the parallels between like the hip hop game and that game. Like you got to know the right people to get in. And then even if you know the right people, even if you have the right talent, you might have to pay motherfuckers off. And I was like, God damn, this is like the hip hop game. And he was like, yes, it is. And I was like, fuck. He goes, my kid could go to the best school doing the best shit, but at the same time, you know, like if, you know, certain things don't fall in the right place, it won't work out. And so he's really dope. And then Junkers Lou, he's the producer overall. And he makes incredible shit. he makes incredible stuff. Like he does commercials for like Adidas, and he does a lot of art shows, and I think he does stuff for TV as well out in London, and like the whole EU and UK. I know he's out there just crushing it right now. But they do work for Cool Keith. They've been fucking with Cool Keith shit for the last 15, 20 years, right? They've been fucking with Cool Keith for like tough. They were fucking with Cool Keith back when he was fucking with Prodigy. Like, you know what I mean? So like they've been messing with him for a long time. So like I've known Keith for a really long time. They've known Keith for a really long time. Really long time. So
Right.
it's like
mid-90s.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, I knew Keith in the late 90s. I knew Keith in the mid 90s, going into the late 90s, but then reconnected with him in the thousands. So like it's like it's been like that. So yeah, but they've been fucking with him for a long time. And then they mess with fuck, there's a couple of other artists, and I feel like a dick because I can't remember their name right now. I can see part of their name in their mind. But they've been messing with a lot of like NFT stuff, and they're kind of in everything. They do a lot of skateboards. But yeah, they are really the one thing I like about Junkadelic music is they allow artists to do what the fuck they want to do as an artist. If you're doing something that's dope, that makes sense, and you're really trying, and it's not no bullshit, they will have your back. But if you're bullshitting and you're trying to be cool and I want to do this because I want to be cool, or if you're going into it expecting millions of dollars and like, cut the fuck out of here, man. Like, if you want to make that money, you got to really put that shit out there, and then you got to like really do it. Because don't expect them to give you a publicist and all that shit. Push your shit. They're giving you a platform. And so I don't know. They're not giving me money to pay for fake followers and shit. You know what I mean? I'm not doing none of that shit. Like, if you go on my Instagram right now, you'll see what 691 followers. You know what I mean? I don't have 11.2K followers. You know why? Because I don't pay for fake followers. What's the purpose of having 11.2K? Look, I do data analytics at work. Okay. If you have 11.2K followers and every post you're getting about 20 to 25 likes,
doesn't make sense. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Come on, man, it doesn't add up. You should be getting at least 400 to 500 likes on the low. You should have at least 10. You should have at least it. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. And so and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna waste all that time. I got 691 followers. I might get like 8 likes on some stupid shit that I really love. You hear the irony in that? Some stupid shit that I really love. I love it, but it's stupid everybody else.
Right.
But some shit that I'm just like, whatever, here you go. I'll get like 40, 50 fucking likes. And I'm like, why? But you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You take it.
I'll take it where I can get it. If like, hey man, I'm
So let's get into the album title, my brother.
He's gonna have some more.
Some more porridge, please.
Some more porridge, please.
For those who don't know, that's God. Oliver Twist.
Thank you, please. Like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, that is hella old school, bro. God, I can see that gritty ass fucking video movie.
It was a good movie back in the day.
It was a good movie. You know, there wasn't any people of color.
That's the twist.
Ooh, I got you, white people. No, I mean, I love you, white folks. I mean, I love you, white people, but you know, you made a movie about people going through hard times and not a single person of color was there. That's your fault. Like,
yeah, it was the cameraman was the person of color. Man.
Yeah, you would think Oliver Twist would be, if they made that movie now, that would be dominated with people of color, and he'd be the one white kid.
Right. You're right. You're probably right. So amazing.
Amazing.
Why? Why the name amazing?
Stupid, I'm a stupid comic book nerd. Dumb comic book nerd. And I'm not necessarily a Spider-Man fan. My favorite character in Marvel Comics, it's like a combination of a few people, but I really like Wolverine a lot. And it's not because of his powers, like he has really dope powers, but it's because of his resilience and what he has to go through and the shit he has to go through and the amount of time that he's gonna live. It reminds me of being a hip hop artist. Like
Right.
you have to like persevere through ups and downs of shit happening. You know what I mean? Like, and so, but Spider-Man's fucking dope because of his perseverance as well. Because if you notice, if you ever read his comics, he's always talking shit. He's always talking shit. Even when he's getting his ass beat, he's talking shit. And you're just like, that's so fucking dope. The irony of me liking those two characters is that they have switched bodies multiple times in the comics. And it's always hilarious. It's always hilarious watching Spider-Man try to navigate Wolverine's body and Wolverine try to navigate Spider-Man's body. The shit is so good. They actually did it in an animated version once. And it was super funny. And I
It
was
was on
like, yeah.
Disney, right?
Yeah, it was like Spectacular Spider-Man. It
Spectacular,
was
spectacular Spider-Man. Remember
Spider-Man.
that?
That fucking intro music was dope. I
It
was
was
like,
dope, man. Yeah, man, bro. It was so punk rock.
I was like, that's sick as fuck. Okay. And what made me laugh about that, my favorite part of that that show when they were like switching bodies is when Wolverine in Peter Parker's body is about to go like stop the shit because he's like, okay, I understand who I am. Okay, let me go stop the shit. And he goes to run and stop shit, and Peter has to tell him in Wolverine's body, no, stop doing that. You can't do that in my body. Nobody knows I'm Spider-Man. You can't just do that shit. And he goes, then you need to go stop him then. He's like, I don't know how. I don't know how to use your powers. He goes, you have to concentrate. So then he goes like this, and he just starts looking at his hands, and his claws just start going.
Yeah. Malfunctioning and shit. Yeah.
I was like, and I remember in my mind, I started thinking, God, how would you control that? Like that would have to be just muscle memory over like, years of having it. But God damn, that would be weird. That would be weird. Like, how would you be able to control the slow movements? You've seen it. They'll push him out all slow. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Okay, so, but it was just those two characters together kind of almost coalesce the idea of being a hip hop artist. Is that at a battle, you're gonna get beat, you're gonna get smashed. People won't hate on the stuff you do. You're gonna do something for the right reason, and people gonna hate it. You're gonna do something that not everybody agrees with. You're gonna do something super dope that people will love. And just like every vigilante, just like every superhero, you still gotta persevere. And those two characters have had stories that are really dope. That I was like, you know what? That's pretty much what it's like being my arc has been wild. I wasn't expecting to be a hip hop artist. I was just a DJ. I was just a DJ, just fucking around. And my boy kept telling me that I should rap, and I was like, whatever, man, nah, whatever. I was a DJ that drew comic books. That was a fucking comic book nerd. That used to skate. You know what I mean? I was a skater. And then the homie put me on deck about MCing, and I got bit. I got bit by that bug, man. And it was like, okay, I can tell stories. Oh, people like it. It's cool. Okay, this is fucking fun. You know what I mean? And then I became it became a part of me. So much a part of me that it was like that I didn't realize that's what I was doing from the beginning.
Right.
It's the perfect mutant superhero story. I had the powers, just didn't even know I had them, and was just using them in the most small, minuscule way. So I was like, I need to share this ability. And so then it's so amazing. Amazing is taking the idea of this the how they always do the Spider-Man comics. So amazing Spider-Man, spectacular Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And so I wanted to use it. I just decided I was trying to figure out some cool name for the album, and then I was just sitting there, and I was listening to one of the beats, and I was like, damn, this shit is amazing. And I was like, you know what? Amazing. I could say, and I actually saw the logo, and I was like, that's it. Amazing. This album's just gonna be called Amazing. You know what? And then I started thinking about it from just from a marketing standpoint. I was like, okay, Q Nikon. Q Nikon. If I always got to keep my name out center and front nowadays, okay, Amazing Q Nikon. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna call this album Amazing Q Nikon. That's it. That makes sense. So then that's why. So then this one's called Amazing Q Nikon. So the next one, it's either a toss up between Friendly Neighborhood or Spectacular.
The Universal Dialect Show will return. But first, a word from our sponsor. In a world where style knows no boundaries, where self-expression reigns supreme, there is Arise Creations.
Introducing Arise Creations, the ultimate destination for fashion-forward individuals seeking affordable, unisex apparel that caters to every unique style.
Arise Creations brings you an exceptional collection of unisex fashion essentials, from trendy tops that blend style and comfort to versatile bottoms and footwear that add an extra layer of sophistication. We've got you covered from head to toe. Arise Creations is more than just a clothing line. We strive to create an inclusive space where everyone can find fashionable and affordable pieces that reflect their unique personality. With indelible designs, we ensure that anyone can confidently wear our products, breaking down barriers while embracing individuality.
But that's not all. Arise Creations is proud to be affiliated with the Universal Dialect Show, a groundbreaking podcast that explores the worlds of music, paranormal, art, fashion, and beyond. Join the conversation on YouTube, BitChute, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of your favorite podcasting platforms.
Arise Creations is committed to making fashion accessible to all. We believe that style should know no bounds, and everyone deserves to feel confident and empowered in what they wear. With our affordable prices and diverse product range, we're here to help you unleash your true self.
Come and unleash your style and embrace your individuality. Arise Creations, where fashion meets affordability and self-expression.
Please visit our website today to explore our collection and be a part of the fashion revolution. Arise Creations and the Universal Dialect Show, empowering you to create your own destiny. Head to www.etsy.com/shop/Arise Creations 73. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/Arise Creations. So that's ARISECREATIONS, the number 7 and the number 3, and bring your look to new heights.
Which one do you think?
I would do Friendly Neighborhood.
Neighborhood, yeah.
And then if you do a third one, and that's the last of like whatever the series, then that becomes Spectacular, and that's it.
I was almost thinking about doing Superior.
That's fucking dope too. Don't forget, they also had Sensational Spider-Man at one point too.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted, if I could, all right, I'm gonna put this out there. If I could get Prince Poe,
right,
and 2 other artists on one song, or maybe one other artist, it would 2 other artists on 4 tracks. I would make an EP and call it Q Nikon and his
his amazing friends.
Amazing friends. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I love Spider-Man. It's not like I'm like any sort of like like big fan of Spider-Man or anything. Nothing like, not a big fan at all, like I don't really love Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you ever read Spider-Man Reign?
I did read Rain, but it was a while ago, and I want to buy the comic actually.
It's really good,
I
man.
have
Like
it.
that comic, if I ever was given the ability, because I went to when I was in high school, I learned how to shoot film. I learned how to do film. So I know how to shoot film and movies and stuff. And what I'd like to do is if I could make any Marvel film or short or series, if a series, I would like to do Spider-Man Reign. And it's because it's telling the story of old man Spider-Man. It's not so much about the powers, it's more about the story. That story
Right.
was so crazy, man. When I read that shit, I remember reading it, looking at the book, going like this, with my head in my hand, going, what the fuck is going on? And just I could see it. And we know the way I would shoot it almost because the way the comic is drawn, it almost looks like Sin City.
Right,
Almost.
right. Or like Dark Knight in a way, kind of in some
Yeah.
way, like the Dark Knight.
It's like a combination of the two, but with more color. So what I would do is I would shoot the movie or the series like that, just with more color. You know what I mean? Keep a lot of the same angles, but keep that story. And you honestly don't really need to change much because the shots are the tweens, and you just fill the in between shots. But man, Spider-Man getting his arm broken, you wouldn't even tell people it's Peter Parker. You just call the show Rain. Don't even call it Spider-Man Rain. Just call it Rain. And it start with the rain and have Spider-Man walking down the street, carrying a bag to go home. You know what I mean? But you don't know it's Peter Parker, just an old ass dude. And these police officers are fucking up this dude. And he walks up on him and they break his fucking arm. You know what I mean? And they have him go home and he starts thinking about it. And then you cut back to the beginning of the comic. So it kind of leads up to that point. Like, could you imagine? Like, no one would even realize it's Spider-Man. Like, they would watch it. And if you tell the story well, you don't have to say it's Spider-Man until it's Spider-Man. And then they're just
Right.
like, oh my God. They'll just blow their fucking minds. You just blow their fucking minds.
Right.
The hard part about that is if you make a show like that, right? You got to make sure everybody who's involved shuts the fuck up.
Which is gonna be super hard, man.
So then you know what you do is you don't tell anybody it's a Spider-Man show and you just shoot the show. And you have to write it so ambiguous that they can't tell it's a Spider-Man show.
That or you don't call it Rain initially, you call it like whatever blank project, and then all of a sudden, boom, it becomes Rain.
Call it Spider-Man Noir. So they just throw everybody off. Let's call it. I'll be like, oh, it's Spider-Man Noir. No, it's not, bitch. It's Rain. It's
So
even
listen,
better.
When you send me the tracks, you only sent me like 11 of them initially.
Yeah.
So how many tracks altogether is going to be on this?
15, I think now. Did you get the other 4?
Yes, I did get the other 4. I haven't heard
Okay, I'm just making sure. Oh, what the fuck?
What?
Can you play one now?
I can play one, but I don't think you're going to be able to hear it, or
We can't hear it. You can't
going to be able to hear it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm surprised you didn't listen to I'm
No, I'm
surprised
going
you
to
didn't
listen to them.
Weapon.
Trust me,
No,
I'm going to listen.
I'm surprised you didn't listen to Weapon though. Weapon was the one.
No, I heard Weapon before. I did hear Weapon.
Okay, that's one of those then. Okay, then cool.
Because it was one of those that was released.
Yeah, that was a single. Yeah.
Yes, it was a single that was released.
So all 4 of those are singles that are released, except for the Cool Keith one. The Cool Keith one is about to be released, and that's We Can Do It.
Okay, so as far as like 15 tracks, was there any reason for the specific number where you have people that drop 20 with interludes and all that? Because to me, it seems like it's one of those short but sweet sort of releases.
I think I was just recording the songs. I wasn't thinking of any interludes, and it got to a point where I felt like I was lagging behind, so I started just really recording the songs and digging in without trying to make anything super, cohesive. However, also the other side of that is that I didn't produce these beats, any of them. And so I didn't feel comfortable without communicating with Junkadelic about messing with him too much and trying to do things to like interludes and stuff unless he had the beats for those. Like to be fair, there is one track that has not made it on the album that is sitting around right now.
Okay, and
is
that ever gonna be? Is that ever gonna
it
be?
will. It just wasn't put on there because I didn't finish it. And I was like, I felt like a dumbass because it's a really dope song. Like like really dope song. Like I can't even explain. Like, hold on. I'm trying to see if I can you hear that?
Yeah. Okay.
I could hear something, but I don't.
Welcome back. We're gonna start this.
It's a really dope. It was supposed to be the intro to the album, and the song's called Priority. But I just didn't. There's a line I had in there that I didn't finish. Like I think a line in the first verse, and then there's like a line in another verse because I said something and it was just stupid, and I was like, I'm not saying that shit. It was fucking just dumb. I was like, I'm not putting that out there. Real shit though. No, man. I was like, I literally heard it and was like, oh no, we're not putting that out. Not that garbage.
Like the fan would think that anything that an artist writes down makes it on a recording. They don't realize that artists scrutinize their shit so much.
Yeah. I've got so many. So I look at like when I make beats, I have somebody who stops me from deleting them half the time. I have some really, really, really dope beats that would have never come to fruition if it wasn't for somebody stopping me from deleting them. I'll be in the middle of making something, even a song. I'll be in the middle of recording some shit. I probably recorded the verse, and then there's just one or two lines that I just can't quite get, and I'll go fuck it, and I'll just go to shut it off, and they'll be like, no, don't do it, and I'll just be like, all right, save, shut it down, walk away. Yeah, I got songs, I've got albums. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 albums that I've been sitting on for now, and this is straight up 12, 13 years.
Full albums.
Full fucking Dunzo.
Would they ever see the light of day?
No, probably not. At this point, no. Like the album They Might Not Like You, that actually never came out. That is
it never came out?
It never came out.
It's a good
Not
album.
only that was a 3-part album. Do you remember how many tracks was on that album? The one that you got?
Wasn't a lot.
Right? Okay, because it was
like 10 maybe? 10 tracks maybe?
Because it was split into 3 parts. There's 30 songs. There's They Might Not Like You part 1, 2, and 3. And there's 3 covers. I pulled them up. I found them. The covers are fucking dope. Fucking full on sick ass covers. Everything's on there. The albums are done. I found the album and I was like, I can't put these out. These are so dated now. In my mind. In your
mind. I got it. I get it, brother. I get it. All right. So you didn't handle the beats on this when you used to handling the beats. So how did you feel about that? Did it open up like more creativity for you? Was it freeing for you, or did you feel limited at first? Like, what was your feelings about the whole thing of not being able to do beats?
You ever be in a room with a bunch of people and you got to fart and like you can't let it out because they'll know it's you. You just know they'll know it's you.
That's every day at my job.
Right? And so then when the meeting is finally over and everybody leaves and you let it out, you're like, oh, that's the feeling. It was the biggest sense of relief. It was the sense of relief until you realize you didn't make the beats. Because like I don't have the pressure of having to make the beats and make them sound right and all this other shit. It's like, no, just write to them. Cool. Now, what are you writing to them? What is their idea that they had to the beat, right? And so I had to ask those questions. And I know that's the thing about Junkadelic is I love them because they were like, they came to me first about it. They were like, well, what kind of beats are you trying to, what kind of songs are you trying to write? And I said, you know, well, I said, I kind of want to evolve to this next level of my shit. Like, I feel like I'm right there. I said, I said, honestly, why do you guys even want to fuck with me right now? And they said, well, the stuff on the Kinetic album you were doing was a lot more, was different. It was, they were like, Junkadelic was dope. He told me, this is what he said to me. We were on a Zoom call and he said, you know what? I like your music. He goes, I really like when you rhyme slower. And I said, what? And he goes, no, it's not slower. It's not slower. He goes, he goes, you rhyme like you are really making a point. And I said, like what song? And I think I had just recorded Weapon on a different beat. And he goes, that song, the way you're saying everything, and then he pulled up a Kinetic song. It was like the way you're saying everything. And I was like, and it hit me at that moment. I was like, you know what? Okay. It's the freedom. And that was the same thing with Kinetic. I didn't make all the beats on the first Kinetic album. So I had the freedom to just rhyme. The second Kinetic album, I made the beats, some of them, but I still had the freedom to just rhyme. But again, I wasn't hiding behind anybody anymore. It's more of just, I can now test the idea of experimenting and not having to be so technical and not having to be KIEW NIKON. So it just opened me up to the idea that I don't need to be, KIEW NIKON isn't that technical guy. This is who I am. And Junkadelic, and he kind of opened me up to that shit. And he even told me, he said, he even said, I think you rhyming on these beats gives you more freedom to be yourself instead of trying to be a certain way. And I was like, you're absolutely right. And so yeah, so that without not having to make the beats, rhyming on beats. The hardest part was just trying to make sure that it was hitting the mark of the feeling that they were going for, because that was the scary part. Like Barnacles, for example, right? You think that I heard Barnacles and thought to write Barnacles? No, I didn't. I heard the beat, listened to it for like 2 weeks, trying to figure out what to write. And then one day I was cracking a joke and then it made sense. And I went, and then I went and grabbed my phone and started writing lyrics and I couldn't stop writing.
Okay,
that's how the songs were written. That's how the songs were written. Okay. I had no idea how to write and then what to write about. And then I would just kind of like be chilling. And I think I found this method is to just relax and not try it. I have to do what I learned in Tai Chi. I have to stop trying to grab it. Stop trying to grab it. Just let it wash over me and then go with it. And then that's where the songs came from. Right. That's where every song came from. Yeah.
So speaking about the songs on the album, particularly the 11 that I heard, my approach when I'm trying to talk about other people's artwork, because I know how other people are and the fact that they try to find excuses to not want to, invest their time in things, I try to pique their interest by not giving too much away. So we're going to talk about some of the songs, because I don't want to give too much of the album away and give people excuses to say, oh yeah, I've heard that before. I don't want to spend time in that. Or that's old concept. I'm not going to fuck with that, whatever. So what was the concept behind Barnacles?
Barnacles. I was in the middle of a conversation with the homies. We were at a party and we were talking about how they were looking at social media. When I walked into the room and they were talking about how this guy was just was tagging them just because he wanted their likes. He wanted their friends and their likes. And I was like, why does that matter so much? And they were like, well, why is he? It just sucks because why doesn't he get his own likes and his own his own shit? And I was like, well, is that the whole point of social media though? Is to have people connect with you to connect with other people to make the bigger connection, which creates the bigger foundation. You know what I mean? So you have that community. They're like, yeah, but at the same time, though, if you're trying to build your social community, your social media community, you need to establish yourself so then you can connect with others. And I was just like, that's a paradox. I said, because you can't establish yourself unless you connect with other people. That's the whole point of it. I said, my problem with social media is that you will have homies that are artists like you who will only give you love and try to be cool with you and do shit with you when they see you doing shit. That's a barnacle. That's the shit. You're a ship. We are ships in the sea. We are ships in the fucking, we are all captains of our own ship, standing there, just looking out, going, okay, I'm trying to get to that motherfucking sunset and make this shit happen, right? And we're passing by. We don't give a fuck about what each other's doing as long as we're not fucking each other's shit up. We find our fucking money, we get our shit, we pull that shit up on our ship, we keep going. Now, if your ship falls apart and you grab onto my shit all of a sudden, and you're climbing up the side of my motherfucking ship, holding on, that's a barnacle.
Yeah.
They ship, like they used to dock and knock that shit off and break that shit off the side of their ships because it's dangerous and it's damaging and it destroys their ships. And that's what people are like. People are like barnacles sometimes. They will hold on to you and try to connect with you only because they see you doing some cool shit. And as soon as they get where they want to be, they don't give a fuck about you no more. They're just looking for the next ship to connect to. That's a barnacle. And that's people are like that sometimes. And so the idea was, I remember I was sitting at that party and I started writing a song. I was like, oh shit. And they were like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just writing a song. Hold on a second. And then one of them said some funny shit. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And I'm going to use that. And I said that shit. And I did, the whole song came out. I wrote that whole song at that party. And then I went home and refined it. But like that song, that's, I remember how I wrote it. I thought about writing that song because the beat is like it's like this weird, like it's not slow, it's just this weird, it's got this swing. And I was like, how am I gonna write to this shit? And I was like, I know what I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write like this old school West Coast gangster shit. That's why oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I could just hear it. I can see because the video for the video I want to do for this, I want to have my character walking around in a pirate outfit with my mask with my mask on, just doing basic normal shit like going to get coffee and fucking shopping for fucking groceries and shit. But that's why I said barnacles, carnival, sideshow freak with a mandible, eat dope beats like a mandible, YOLO life fuck a manual, overdose, comatose, knowledge in the body like cellulose. It's just like I was just like I'm gonna write it like a fucking gangster. Futurist, pugilist, punch the game with a Zulu flute, change the game like a cartridge. Change that dash into Armitage, procreate, innovate. It's like I was just like writing the most gangster shit I could write, but in the most intelligent way.
A paradox.
Exactly. I was like, can I be hella gangster and fucking intelligent? No, it's not about being an intelligent gangster. I'm just gonna be articulate and gangster. Yeah, not intelligent because gangsters are intelligent. These motherfuckers be on one. The motherfuckers that be surviving and not going to jail, that's an intelligent shit.
Yeah.
But articulate, that's a different story. It's a different story.
So the next track, bro, I love it because it's a shout out to all creators. Burner, can you talk about that?
Okay, I'm gonna be really straight up and honest. I could have did a much better song, much better version of that song.
Stop.
But when I heard what they did to it, I was like, okay, that's a really good song.
It is a fucking dope song, dude.
I like Burner a lot. Burner's
dope.
it's Wow, Burner's a good one. So that one is just me. That really is. This is me just doing a shout out to being a creative, man, and going back to where I started. As being as a graffiti artist, because because people forget, man. They think that they see pieces of art and they think it's easy, and they're like, oh, I could do that, or they think about AI. Like okay, I just did that logo. I just took a logo my homeboy drew, and I animated it. And I showed it to a couple people before I posted it. And they were like, oh, what AI did that? They thought AI did that. And a part of me, for a moment, was offended. But then another part of me was like, oh, that means you're doing something right. Because if they think that a computer did that, then you're doing something right. You're doing something right. Then I told them I did it by hand, and they were like, oh, wow. You can see their face. They're like, fuck. Okay, that's fucking. They're like that. They were like, that's really dope now. So it was like it's paying homage to being an artist, but at the same time, it's just reminding people who are artists. Because I'm looking at the world right now, the future of art as a designer, as a creative, man, AI is gonna fuck shit up.
It's already
It really
fucking
is.
shit up.
It really is, man. It's in our phones. It fucks with our pictures. It's listening to us when we're fucking talking. Like I'm talking about, we asked for the future. Here it is. Here it fucking is. And now motherfuckers is about to lose their job because of machine learning and all this different stuff. So like yeah. So as a creative artist, Burner was like, nah, it's still organic. It's still dope. And and especially my graffiti heads, that was really like going to my graffiti heads. It was just reminding people this shit ain't easy. This shit ain't easy.
All right. So the next track, is it ICE or is it ICE?
It's both. So ICE. So ICE stands for Intelligent Countermeasure Exploitive. So it's a hacker term. It's a hacker term. So and it's when you're hacking into it's funny because you're kind of using AI to do it, but if you want to hack into a program, you're not necessarily using a virus, but you're slicing through somebody's shit, and a lot of times you have to slice through their ice. Their ice is basically their barriers, and everybody has one. And so that song is about slicing through barriers, and I'm basically hacking you to give you information.
Because you bring up the multiverse, which is like the topic du jour in the last like 10 years.
Right. And a lot of it is, and I bring that, so in that song in particular, I bring it up because I feel like that, imagine if we keep talking about the multiverse, but we also talk about the world being a simulation. So if the world is a simulation, there is a way to hack it. And I think that there are people out there that are finding ways to do that if it is a simulation, and it's not necessarily that it's simulated. It's more of that they're seeing the code in life, and they're playing to it just instinctively. And I find myself doing that sometimes. It's almost like it, you know what it is? It's like when you're falling asleep and you start to feel it, and the minute you think about it, you wake up. It's that feeling, and you're on the edge. And so like I feel like I'm always on the edge right there of doing it. That's what that song's mostly about. Just like, you know what? I'm on the edge of doing that. You're on the edge of doing that. Here's the way to do it, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's a line that I really like, and I want you to explain it. Cyberpunk without the bugs, exposing the industry. Every time you laugh, I laugh, man. Am I getting too deep? Is that it, man?
No, your question. No, it makes me. No, and my eyes tear up a little bit because it's like it makes me laugh. It's like because whenever somebody takes lines out of what I'm saying, it makes me feel really good because that means they matter.
They do, bro. This is a dope fucking album, dude. At the end, I'm gonna do like a dissertation at the end, bro, to fucking, knock some sense into you because this hating on yourself it's crazy. Like this album's so dope. And I heard 11 tracks out of the 15. I still haven't heard like 3 of them.
Yeah, wait till you hear the songs with Saphir. And I just don't want to put a shout out to Artifacts and the homie Tame One. Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
Yeah.
You know, rest in power. I think I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I have the last verse ever from him. And I had been sitting on that verse for a little bit. And I told him I'd hit him up 3 months before no, I'm sorry, no, 6 months to a year, I think, before I even knew he was gone, or before he passed, before it was like public. And told him I was gonna do it. And he was like, hell yeah, do that shit. And I was like, all right. And so that song with him is kind of like, after he passed away, I was like, fuck. Okay. It's paying homage to him and the shit he had to deal with as an artist. And then there's a song with Kool Keith, which is just, classic Kool Keith shit. And then there's that single like we were talking about earlier. So yeah, those songs will be on there.
So explain the line. Cyberpunk,
So, all right.
the bugs, exposing the industry.
All right, if anybody's a gamer out there, so Cyberpunk 2077. If anyone is born before in the 1970s to 80s, they will know that used to be a tabletop role-playing game created by a black artist. And I used to play that game back in the day, and I loved that game. That game was fucking incredible. So when they said that they were making a video game, I was like, oh my God. And then so the game came out. I got it. The game was dope, but it was fucked up. You could tell that they rushed it. You could tell it had bugs. You could tell it had the potential to be something so beautiful, but they rushed it and just didn't take the time to really make sure it was right. And like, honestly, I remember being a little disappointed. Like I got so disappointed, I stopped playing it. And then just recently, I want to say in the last couple of like last year, they fixed it. So I've been just playing it again recently. They fixed everything. It is the game it was supposed to be. It is a beautiful, incredible game with incredible, rich stories. But the industry, the hip hop industry, is very much so like that, where they'll just push shit out. They'll push stuff out just to get the money real quick, just to get the money, just to get the hype, just to get the buzz. And it's all, but then when you go and you listen to it, it's flawed. It's all fucked up. You wasted your time, your effort, your money and shit, because it ends up happening is these people are sometimes unhinged and they end up fucking doing drugs and slapping people around and going to fucking, like, I don't understand these artists who end up, like my man, I'm sorry, I'm only gonna say this, but like I've seen this too many times, but cats like Jonathan Majors and shit, like these cats they're given opportunities to do some really dope shit. And then they get caught up in some crazy shit. And I don't know. Look, don't act like you didn't know the person you're with was on one. If you knew they were on one, get the fuck away from them. You look at your career, look at where your life is, look at the way the world is now. One false move, your shit's fucked up and everybody's judging you. You know what I mean? It's rigged. The game's rigged. It's bugged. It's fucked up. So I'm exposing this shit. That's why I said that shit. So that's why I said cyberpunk without the bugs. Expose the industry, because I'm cyberpunk without the bugs. I'm refined. I'm refined over time. I'm from the future, sent back to the past into myself to go fix what's going on now.
Mm-hmm. I got you, man.
And if I could just keep recycling that, could you imagine if you could just keep recycling yourself back to yourself? That would actually be a good idea for a comic book or a movie. Like a person who keeps sending themselves back to the past with with more information, just over and over again and just looping.
Isn't that like sort of like digital reincarnation?
Almost. But then remember Days of Future Past when Wolverine sent him his consciousness back to his past self? So basically you would be doing that, but just permanently.
Right.
And then you just live your life again and then do it again. And then you would just loop. And then eventually you'd have crazy ass knowledge.
That's dope. So the next track, I Can Believe, with the repeating phrase, I can't relate.
Oh, it's funny. I didn't expect this song to be named I Can Believe. So I can't tell you where that name comes from because they named it that. I called it number one or middle digit. So
read between the lines.
Yeah, right. But the song I can't relate. It's basically I'm just being very blunt and upfront about certain things that I just can't fuck with. I can't fuck with it. I can't relate. Wake up and not, just wake up and not see the world around me. Constant howling humans looking for blood. Like people are always trying to, I don't know what it is with people nowadays, man. They're just always trying to find a way to just be fucked up to each other or they're so mad about something else, they want to be mad at you or the world around them. Like every day. I see it every day. I go to work and I deal with 300 to 400 people a day, and every single day there's always the same 4 or 5 people who are just mad about everything. And I'm just like, and eventually you start thinking to yourself, they're not mad at me. They're not mad at me. They're mad at whatever's going on in their lives, and I ain't got nothing to do with that. So I can't take that personal. But I cannot relate with walking in every day trying to spread that negativity to everybody else. If I'm dealing with some shit, I'm gonna deal with my shit. I'm not spreading that to everybody else. I can't relate with watching governments fucking do stupid shit, killing kids, doing crazy. And remember, if you think about it, I wrote that before the Israel shit was going on.
Right.
Like a year before the Israel shit was going on, 2 years, if not more. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I already knew like this it's been going on for a while. So like, this ain't new shit. I just can't relate with acting like it's cool, like killing motherfuckers over there. But then if it happens here, acting like it's a big deal. Like, right. Nah, kids are kids are kids. People are people. We shouldn't be fucking each other up. So yeah, man, it really just comes down to just saying straight up. I'm just talking straight up about the shit I can't relate. And then I just called out a couple of like real life situations of things that I deal with or things that I've talked to people about or I've experienced. And I'm just like straight up. And those people will know who they are when they hear that song because they'll take it personal.
Talk about Abyss Infinite being on this track because she's dope.
Yeah, she's really dope. She crushed it.
How did you hook up with that? How did you get her on?
I just asked her because the last album she put out was Behind the Beef Curtains. It's a really good album. If you haven't checked that album out, it's really dope. It's online. Behind the Beef Curtains. Regardless. You type that in, it's there. I was writing this song and we were having a conversation about we were talking about the whole Palestine thing. And it was kind of like really early in on it where they were like, oh, it's anti-Semitic to talk about Palestine. And she's Jewish. So I asked her, I said, why is it anti-Semitic to talk about Palestine? I just don't understand. And she's like, it's not anti-Semitic to talk about Palestine. It's just stupid. These people don't even know what the fuck. She went off and just told me. She goes, and then the way she was talking, she was basically just saying, I can't even fucking, she goes, she basically was like, I can't relate with these motherfuckers talking about da 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 da. How can you talk about it if they don't know this? How can they talk about this if they don't know? I was like, you got to get on the song I'm writing. You got to get on the song I'm writing. And she was like, okay. And I told her the concept. And she was like, oh, yeah. My favorite line. Oh, my God. When I heard it after she recorded it, I stopped. I remember I paused the song and rewound it to listen back. She said, she goes, with your monosyllable hate chants. If you're white and you love it, stop getting your spray tans. I was like, because in my mind, I went, you are absolutely right.
Right. They don't want to be like us, but they don't. But they want to be like us.
I was like, I never thought about that. I told her, I said, I'm so mad at you because I should have already said that.
Yeah.
I was like, that line is so clever. It's ridiculous. I was like, wow. But it's so true. It's so true. If you're white and you love it, stop getting your spray tans. Okay.
Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, they throw these labels out there like anti-Semitic, but a lot of the times they don't even know what that means. Do they even know what a Semite is? They don't realize that
Dude,
Semites aren't just Jewish people.
bro, they keep on throwing it. I'm tripping on that shit. Like the questions they be asking people, and but to be honest with you, the people who are doing the right thing are not answering the questions any better. Like when they're asking people shit, and the only answer is, I completely do not agree with that type of language. But that's not the question they're asking you. When you're ignoring questions and just repeating stupid ass statements and not really having anything, not bringing any value to the conversation. Like, okay, you know what? You're not doing yourself any good. Like you may be doing the right thing, but the way you're responding about it sounds like shit. Sounds like shit. Like if somebody said if and just to put it in really blunt terms, okay, it's like this. It's like if somebody told you you're a fucking pedophile, you're like, no, I'm not. But then you're looking at child porn on your phone. You're not really doing yourself any good. Okay, you're not doing yourself any fucking good. So don't go out there and start talking about, well, if someone's at your college and they say that, killing all Israel, killing Israelites is it should be okay. How do you think that they shouldn't be given admission into your college? And you go, well, I'm appalled by that type of language. We're all appalled by that language. That's not what they asked you, dumb fuck. And that's what, like, honestly, if you listen to my album, I talk a lot of shit about that stuff too. It's just like, if we had politicians that were MCs, oh my God, shit would get done. Shit would get done. Could you imagine Method Man oh my God, as a Speaker of the House? Oh God damn it. Everybody starts getting mad. He's like, hold up. I think everybody needs to go reach up under their seat and pull out the blunt and relax a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Chill the fuck out. We'll reconvene in like 25, 35 minutes after that shit's kicked in.
So the next track, I'm Still Here, with the really dope Voltron sample. What's the concept behind that?
Logan. The movie Logan was the inspiration for that. I feel like, and that goes back to my whole Wolverine Spider-Man connection, is that Logan has lived the most torturous life, I think, one of the most torturous lives of any Marvel character ever. Because everybody he cares about dies or gets killed or something fucks up. And especially the Old Man Logan story is really fucked up. If you read the comic book, it's really worse than the fucking movie. The movie was really good, by the way. But the comic book is brutal. Fucking brutal. And then you feel even worse. Like, honestly, they should have did that in the movie. But you feel really bad for him. But the thing is that he's still there. After everything happens, when shit goes down, that man can regenerate from nothing. If his bones are still there, he can regenerate. He wants to die, but he can't. He can't. He wants to. So that's what it's like as a hip hop artist. That's what it's like for me. I want to stop. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want to stop doing music. I want to stop. I can't. I keep regenerating right back to it for some fucking reason. I want to stop doing music. That's why I think I like doing music for movies and video games and TV, because that still lets me do it, but then I don't have to rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I'm still here. And it's just talking. And honestly, I'm subliminally talking to all the homies out there I used to rap with who don't rap anymore. I'm just telling them, man, I'm still here. I'm still doing the shit we used to do. I know you're not doing it anymore, but I'm still here. And if you want to come back and do some shit, let's do it. Let's do it. So.
Shit chaos.
So there's an old Buddhist saying. I'm not Buddhist in any way, but when I was learning Tai Chi, they used to talk to us a lot of Taoism and a lot of Buddhism. Chaos means good news. And that means change is coming. Because you can't have change without chaos. There's always three parts to change. There's storming, forming, and norming. Storming time is when things are crazy and chaotic. Forming is when everything starts to coalesce. Norming is when it normalizes, obviously, and becomes the norm. And that's pretty much what we do. We shit chaos. if we were bacteria, we are technically we're parasites.
Yeah.
We're parasites. You know, we're parasites on a living organism, aka the planet. So we shit chaos. But that chaos is good to a certain extent because even that chaos does come back on us and it forces us to change sometimes. And every once in a while you get a chance to see it and it helps you make a change faster for the better for yourself. So yeah, that's what that song Shit Chaos.
I love that song, bro. But this song, the last song I'm gonna talk about, which you and I both know is gonna be the last track. It better be. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
mad.
no, we already talked about it. Yeah, we talked about this shit.
The Thing. Talk about The Thing.
The Thing is about that thing that nobody likes to talk about, that uncomfortable race thing. The Thing, man. Nobody likes to talk about race. Everybody wants to ignore it. Everybody wants to act like it's cool. I was talking to a friend of mine at work, this little Asian chick. She's hella cool. She's Asian. She's Filipino. She's lesbian. You know what I mean? Got the short haircut and all the shit. She's cool as fuck. She is cool as fuck, funny as fuck. And she said something one day to one of the black people that works at work. She goes, well, the bus is gone. She's already, the bus has gone by. The bus has gone by. And I turned to her and I said, don't say shit like that to black people. Just don't make jokes like that. And she goes, what? She went home and she told her girlfriend, she said that her girlfriend was like, you better watch how you be saying shit to people. Like she didn't realize any of those things, right? And I was asking her and I said, let me ask you something. I said, how many and we joke like this. So I had to ask her, I said, how many black people have you had at your house? Ever? Think about it. She thought about it. And she's like, I have never had a black person at my house. I was like, right? I said, that's crazy. How many Asian people do you think I've had at my house? She goes, how many? I said, at least 6. You know how many Hispanic? She goes, no, at least 4. You know what I mean? I said, I tend to see most people not have people, they'll say they have a black friend, but they've never been to their house. Or they try to make everything cool. I've had white people who are cool with me look at me and say, Q, I just want to let you know, I respect you so much, I don't see color when I see you. That's that thing. That's that thing. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to, they want to be like, but that's my identity. And that's people's identity. And like, until we start really looking at it and stop ignoring it, it's going to be a problem. Because if I can't just walk down the street without being harassed, if I can't walk, if I can, I every time I walk into Whole Foods, and I don't do this very often. It's very, very rare that I ever go into Whole Foods unless I get drug in there. But when I do have to go in there, you know what I do? I play a game with myself. Am I the only one?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And no lie, 99.9999999% of the time, I am the only one.
Right.
And if I'm not, you know what's crazy? That black person in there won't even make eye contact with me. They'll like put their head down. They'll be super nice to everybody else. But as soon as they see me, you'll see them, oh, I can't make eye contact with someone of my own race. I see it all the time, and it's weird. So like, it's the thing, man. Like my grandmother once told me this, and I'll leave it with this. My grandmother told me this, and and I am fortunate enough to not be this way and to help teach other people to not be this way. But she said that, you know, in America, black people can tend to be more racist than white people because we have been taught to hate each other and ourselves.
100%.
And I was like, God damn, man. And that made me mad at first. And then I was like, no, but I see it. I see it every day. I see it every day when like we go out of our way to not say what's up to each other. I remember a time where a dude walked up to me and he said to me, he knuckle bumped me and he goes, hey, I had to say what's up to another brother because there's not too many of us out here and it would do us a disservice if I just ignored you. He literally said that to me. I don't know this dude. But he came up to me out of nowhere and said that to me. And little situations like that remind you that we need to acknowledge each other, not just as a race, but as human beings. A lot of times we don't do that. So, you know, so the thing, man, that thing, we need to just be human, be human.
Right. So to me, and we had this conversation yesterday, actually, the thing is what sums up to me the whole album, right? I told you
Yeah.
that it gave me like the feels. Now, I've been listening to you since Destroy the Robots in the late 90s when you were with the Sigmetics. And I've listened to your material ever since then. And it's understandable, I told you this yesterday, that you still want to keep that foot in the 90s golden age era while still keeping that other foot out, trying to go towards the future. But you're still kind of stuck in that middle. But with this album, you didn't do that. The song, the thing, when you end it, to me, it highlights the 90s a little bit. But to me, it's like you closing the door on that 90s vibe that'll never, ever, ever come back. It's gone. People want to bring it back. And there's no disrespect to other artists that want to be like Boot Camp Click like or Hieroglyphics like or Living Legends like because they love that style. They want to bring that back. You know what I mean? But that time will never come back. It's done. We lived it. It was great memories, but that time is done. Now it's time to move forward. Unfortunately, hip hop nowadays isn't all that great, particularly the stuff that's mainstream. But with this album, I feel like this opens up a new door for us to walk through to start going towards the future.
Right.
So the album, the title's perfect, amazing. It is. From the 11 tracks that I heard, plus the other tracks that I'm going to listen to. So when does this drop? What else are they going to release other than, let's say, it being digital? They're going to do cassettes, CDs, vinyl, shirts, condoms. Like, what's going on?
I'm working on some skateboards, some shirts.
Right. But when does it release? We need to know the release date.
It is going to be releasing. It's releasing in 2 weeks. It'll be dropping fully in 2 weeks. We were just waiting for the album artwork to be completed. It's funny because I put some shit together real quick. It came out really tight. Matter of fact, hold on, let me show you something. Let me show you this real quick. This was some of the artwork.
That's dope, man. That's might be the cover.
Yeah, that's gonna be the cover I'm building. That's the cover I'm making.
That's fucking dope, man. Is that vector?
No, I painted that. That's hand painted.
What do you mean hand painted? You painted it like on a canvas?
On this.
Oh, you painted on that. Okay, so you use that digitally. You digitally painted it.
Yeah, digital paint.
It's dope, bro.
So that's gonna be that's the artwork I'm working on right now. So it's probably gonna be that with KIEW NIKON, amazing.
That's dope, bro.
You know, it's funny. So it's a couple weeks. It's coming out. It's gonna be digital for sure because I mean you know we're in the future now. So we are talking. I'm not gonna name any names right now because I've learned to not throw that energy out there quite yet until it's done. So I'm gonna say right now we're trying to close a deal to get the 4 songs that I sent you with the features and the one with the single on wax right now. And then if that works out just right, maybe get the whole album on wax as well. But there'll be shirts. I'll be doing some special edition CDs and shit. I'm working on getting my boy who is the artist for the Seattle Seahawks. He did these crazy limited edition posters, foil chrome posters. He's working on some foil chrome posters for me. And yeah, I'm working on some pretty dope shit for this. And then I'm already working on the next album. I've actually already recorded the first song or one of the first songs for that new album with them. Check this out though. I'll spit this for you right now. This is something I just wrote for the new one. This is just something new. I said, Break out the bird feed, pigeons scrounge for crumbs, hitchhike popularities, opposable thumbs. Meetings equate zero sum, zeros and ones. In the future, decipher ciphers. Water, crackers, and soup. Water, flavor, savor. Lyrics saved, archaic. Typewriters, tall tales. Hip hop culture, crime fighters. Deciduous trees pressed in. Hidden messages, word visible, held close to lighters, tried so hard to show skill in the word form. Best moments come from when my heart's torn, forlorn for the fuck of it, crushing stone between my finger, watch time linger. I'm a flying gray son, high fly wire artist. Listen, when it's dope, they do a chef's kiss. Break out the phones for insta gratification, signals laced in between a rock and a hard beat, hard to delete. Overwrite synapses, collapse the idea perhaps. The vocals patterns still entrapped, elevated entropy. The government sent sentinels to forever end me. Blends its musical alchemy, sarcastic part of me. I'm claustrophobic, my soul sits in a place where timelines converge. See dope sneakers, it's time to splurge. Lose hold of reality on the verge. Trying to make connections, it's time to merge.
Damn.
That's some new shit. That's some
dope,
new shit,
man. Do you know what the name of it yet, or you just?
I don't even have a name for that. That's just
okay. I
that's
got
just
you.
that's honestly there's a new kung fu style I'm thinking about trying to learn, Pak Mei, and the way the lyrics come out when to the beat that I was writing this to, it comes out like the way Pak Mei is. So I might name the song Pak Mei or the five ways.
That's dope. That's dope. So okay, so you're writing for this new album. You still don't call me no more. When do you think that's gonna drop? And is that a Junkadelic thing, or is that just you doing it on your own?
You Still Don't Call Me was produced by Clint Partee from Sigmetics, from the Sigmetics crew, Substance. So that album, I'm trying to think, are all the songs done? I think all the songs are done for You Still Don't Call Me. I just need to get them mastered. So I think that might be, give it a month. Give it about 30 days. About a month and a half. I should have that album ready to go and done in and out. Because then I'll give that to Junkadelic, and Junkadelic will put it out. Because they'll also do my distribution as well, no matter. That's one of the beautiful things they told me is that, whatever I fucking do, because they believe in it, they'll put it out. They'll put it out. I might even be able to give it to them to master. I don't know. I just don't want to give them too much shit like too fast, because I know me, I'll get excited and be like, oh, really? Here you go.
All right,
just throw it. I gotta get a dollop here, a dollop there. Don't want to overload them. Have them freaking out.
All right, brother. Well, listen, man, this was great. Thank you for taking the time. And like I said, the album is awesome, dude. I have no room on my phone, so I am going to have to delete shit to put this album on my phone, because I'm at work and I have songs playing in my head. I'm craving it, dude. Like, it's got to the point where I'm craving it now.
You want me to send you the MP3 versions of it?
No, I can convert these to MP3s. It's just that I have room on my phone.
So
shit. I'm gonna have to delete songs that I have on there because I need this on my phone.
Well, thank you. I feel sorry for the songs that are getting deleted, but
it's good.
Shit happens though.
Shit happens, brother. Shit happens. You know,
shit happens.
I'll make sure that Dark Shinobi doesn't get deleted. But
I was
you're
just
gonna be on
somebody,
Spotify, yes?
Yeah, Spotify. Okay. I'll be on everything, man. Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, fucking I don't know. There's so many music platforms now. I don't even know anymore. But I know that Junkadelic is really good about getting me on everything. Like I'll type in my shit and be like, oh, I didn't know what the fuck is this? I didn't even know this existed. Apple Music, Amazon Music. I'm on there and shit. I'm on everything. So that's the beauty, man. I love it. I love it. They give me the love and the ability to be. Honestly, I just want, man. Can somebody just give me put me on a movie or something, some music or some shit, or
yeah, that'd be dope, man.
Goddamn, that'd be nice, please.
That'll be fucking awesome.
I'm easy to work with. I just get excited about doing stuff. I'll produce.
Right. I mean, it sucks. There's a lot of talent out there that doesn't get tapped into. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I know hella people. Shit.
All right, my man. Love you, brother. Have a great
Love you
night.
too, man.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.